let me go to you first, Fiona McGlade. Tell us more details about the 36 textbooks. I understand they will be available for the next school year. Would they be on the national curriculum?
That's correct, yes. We're going to publish in September. There's going to be, for the 6 primary year groups, we'll have a textbook, a teacher's guide, a practice book for each year, and there are 2 terms in each year. They'll be submitted to the government's Teaching for Mastery programme, and we hope they will be endorsed on that. Then schools will receive some matched funding to implement the textbooks as part of their Teaching for Mastery resource. So it's part of the bigger picture which the UK government is implementing, really to adopt a lot of the Shanghai mastery methods in the teaching of primary maths in order to try and raise the attainment of UK children, especially from primary age.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Wang Yan, why do you think the UK is so interested in the Chinese math education system from Shanghai? And how does the Chinese Education Authority view this move?
Well, I think China has impressed the world by its performance in the mathematics in 2009 PISA test, and then again in 2012. And also
PISA is the international testing system where it's quite internationally recognized for its ability to measure the students' performance in science. Just a footnote for the PISA system. Please go ahead again.
Yeah, and then even though the Chinese rank has lowered in 2015 in the most recent test, but still it is one of the top 4 performers in the mathematics. And also recently, the BBC documentary Young Chinese, Tough Chinese Teachers also impressed the world, and is something like an impact evaluation and testified the effectiveness of the Chinese pedagogy compared with the British. And also there are more and more bilateral teacher and student exchange between China and the UK, and more and more participants has witnessed the effectiveness of the teaching and the learning in classroom in schools in China.
Mm-hmm. Raymond Delambre, the test results of the past few years of the PISA program, which we mentioned just now, show students from Shanghai as among the top performers in math. However, there have also always been this perception abroad and in China that Chinese students learn by rote. How do you look at the Chinese learning system for this moment?
First of all, dear Chief Chini, for your great invitation in Beijing. You are welcome too. Our topic is linked to the increasing soft power of People's Republic of China, based, hopefully, on some tradition. Let's recall China's abacus. China invented a lot, so why not good math textbooks, even for Westerners? About education, China's teachers don't apply the presumed more collaborative way of teaching, which is the mainstream in West. You know, the debate is direct instruction versus inquiry learning. In a way, the new textbooks from China in UK is a kind of comeback of my dear Kongzi Confucius. China remains a country where some Confucian values still remain, like obedience to direct teaching, linked to obedience to elders. In China, it's rare to see China's teachers have to spend much time and energy to simply keep the noisy children quiet, as in France, for instance, especially in the suburbs that I personally snubbed. What makes great teaching, both in West and East? Especially during the early primary school years, teachers need to be explicit about new discovery, about what they teach and make better use of whole class learning. Mm-hmm. Instead, instruction, when dealing with new information, should be explicit and direct.
Right.
I could make a link with China's thought. Within China's thought, there is an emphasis, strong emphasis on practice. Children are told, if you want to learn something, practice, practice, and practice more. It's again, and you will get better, like
yes.
for some Buddhism, and once
yes.
again with Confucianism.
Yes, Ms. Fiona McGlade, let me come back to you. This is not the first time that HarperCollins has introduced Chinese textbooks to the UK. You have done that in 2015, but now you have decided to translate a whole set of math textbooks, 36 of them, and literally without any changes. What has been the feedback since your first introduction, and what has prompted you to do this on a much bigger scale now?
Yes, well, we first partnered with East China Normal University Press to bring their one lesson, one exercise practice books to the UK. And they were very successful. The teachers who used them had fantastic feedback for us. But we called it the Shanghai Maths Project very deliberately because the idea was to collaborate with teachers to make sure that the contents were suitable for the UK and to make any amendments that were deemed necessary for UK schools. We have done that, and we are working now with both Shanghai experts but also UK experts to create the teacher guidance that we're going to publish as part of our original Shanghai Maths program. However, this new program that we are going to publish with Shanghai Century Mathematics, that is a different program. It consists of a key textbook, which is something we don't have with the Shanghai Maths Project. Mm-hmm. And it's something which has been used actually in the teacher training program that the Department for Education are funding through the math subs in the UK. So it's recognised as a fantastic resource. And we're very, very keen for our teachers to be able to have that resource themselves. We know that Chinese teachers have refined these books. They have I think 10 years of pedagogical academia behind them, and so we don't think that we can improve upon them. We think that we can just translate them, and teachers will really benefit from using them. But as part of a mastery approach to teaching, it does go hand in hand with the training that the teachers are receiving from the government as well.
Sure. Ms. Wang, some Chinese people argue that our elementary education system is lacking in creativity and we should learn from Western education systems. But now not only the UK but also some other countries are very interested in our learning methods. Why do you think this change came about?
Well, actually, this change has now come about overnight. This is kind of like a result of the 2 decades reform that started from the end of 1990s when China has started its curriculum. So over almost 20 years, there is a lot of change with the teacher curriculum and also the way of teaching and learning in the classroom. For example, now we see more and more cultivation of not only the knowledge itself, but also things like knowledge and skills, and also process the methods and attitudes, emotions, and values, as highlighted in the new curriculum framework issued by the central government. And also this is complemented by some other traditional approach to reinforce the teaching and learning. For example, the pedagogical research. That's there is a specialized institution that send researchers to schools to support teachers' professional development, etc. And also there are disciplined culture and class-based community learning, and that all help build solid knowledge foundation for the students.
Thank you all very much. Because of time constraint, we have to leave it there. Many thanks to Fiona McGlade joining us from London, to Raymond Delambre joining us from Paris, and from Ms. Wang joining us here in Beijing. You have been watching The Point here on CGTN. My last point is right after this.